This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
All right, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of The Outcast with Buzz and Juice. Got my man Juice here. I am Buzz. Follow us on Twitter at MVP Buzzweed, at MVP Juiceman. If you're finding us on YouTube here, drop a like, comment, a sub. That'd be great. We try to comment to all you guys that were commenting on our first podcast that came out. We really appreciate all the good feedback that we got back and whatnot. It was awesome. If you would like to get one of these awesome T-shirts that we're wearing,
wear now.
We got wear. We got wear. You can go to mostvaluablepodcast.com. Order one of these awesome T-shirts that we are now rocking. Makes me really feel a part of the Most Valuable Podcast family, which is pretty good. Also, if you can go to patreon.com and patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast and donate, you can earn yourself some really awesome prizes, some really cool things on that website, private podcast, joining on podcast, bunch of other cool stuff on there. So pretty cool stuff there. And then if you're hearing us on iTunes, you can drop us a 5-star rating, comment on there. We'll try to comment back to you, trying to stay with you guys all along the process. Every comment you guys do, we'll try to comment back, talk, but we're mostly active on Twitter. Like that's where you can probably get a hold of us the most. YouTube, I'm still trying to figure out that whole comment section.
Yeah, come at me, bro.
Oh yeah, come at me.
Not like come.
Yeah, but we're here. We have an awesome show planned for you guys today. Hitting some baseball talk, hitting some Bulls talk, hitting some Bears talk. Here covering all Chicago sports.
First of all, let's start. I'm surprised we're not canceled yet.
We were pretty lame.
Pretty lame.
We had a few mistakes. Especially
with our some of our feedback on our YouTube. I was like, man, I thought Ricky was going to come down and put us back to the Burger King.
Oh man, I don't want to go back to Burger King.
Me neither.
That's okay. Like Conor McGregor said about the Irish. We're not here to take part. We're here to take over. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of which, 10,000 subscribers on YouTube now. So that's huge.
Thank you. That's great.
So thank you to the fans. Also, like he said, thanks for commenting on our video and reaching out to us on Twitter. If you followed us, I hope we followed you back. If we didn't, just send us a DM saying, "What the hell, man? You said you were gonna follow me."
Yeah, I tried. I tried to follow everybody.
But we've been overwhelmed with how awesome this start has gotten.
Yeah,
we've gotten off to. It's been pretty cool.
Yeah, there's been a lot of people commenting towards us. It's been, the whole thing's been great all around. Feedback was pretty much good for the most part. I had a couple people. One guy said I looked like a meth head.
Well, you kind of, yeah, I could see it.
Okay. Well, I don't want to talk about that
you
anymore.
look like a cooler version of Joe Dirt, but that's just me.
Joe Dirt couldn't even grow up. Whatever. I'm not even getting in this with you. But yeah, like I said, guys, in the beginning, if you can just hit us up on YouTube, iTunes, if you happen to visit Patreon, go ahead and donate, all that cool stuff. Thank you for all the good, positive feedback that we did get, and for the negative feedback we did get. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for taking time out of your day to talk to us. That still means the world to us, even though if we messed up, we need a stat guy.
We do. We might have one.
Yeah?
We might.
Oh, all right.
We're going to see, though. We actually have some really cool things in the making, too.
Oh, yeah.
Currently, we've gotten a pretty cool call. I'm not going to hint at it. I'm not going to name what's up the
you got the call.
Sleeve. Well, we got the call.
Right. So you don't need to hint at it, but can I hint at it?
No, you can't.
No, I can't.
No. It might be on the table. Something great is on the table.
If you're only listening, you're not going to see this.
Then you're not going to see
it.
it.
But if you're watching something that I'm doing right now, we may have something with that. But all right,
we'll see.
We'll see.
It might be in the making. Who knows? We'll cross that bridge when we get there. This bridge we need to cross today is into now. Episode 1 was kind of like our intro, kind of introducing the viewers to us, and now it's this is off and running now.
Yeah,
so we're going to try to throw some segments into the show, things that we're going to try to do every time, but we might not, based on feedback and based on what we if we can come up with a good theme for it. We've already came up with a name with it.
I would love you to introduce that, man. That's all.
This is our segment. It's called "I Got 5 on It."
I got 5 on it.
So if you remember the song from that was the '90s, wasn't it?
Yeah. Once we get a soundboard, we'll plug.
We'll have the "I Got 5 on It."
Yeah. Yep.
That's also something we're kind of working on. So yeah, we got a lot that's going down the pipeline right now. So, but we're gonna introduce "I Got 5 on It."
All right, let's do it. Would
So
you like
you
to
guys
start
can
with your
play
brand
around.
new segment?
We're gonna do this new segment in "I Got 5 on It." It's gonna be 5 things that are huge for this one. For example, is gonna be 5 things. I got 5 on it. 5 things that are on your Cubs or my Cubs, your White Sox.
All right, and can other people do other teams if they want to throw 5
absolutely.
on it? Okay, there you go.
We're gonna we're gonna try to stick with this conversation first, though.
Right.
So comment below. I got 5 on it. If you are a Cubs or a White Sox fan, your 5 most important players for your team.
Awesome.
So
I'd love
we're gonna
for you to kick it off. Man.
We're gonna start. I got 5 on it with the Cubs. All right, because I'm a Cub fan. I'm gonna name 5 up to 1. My least important, all the way up to my most important.
I didn't make my list that way.
Okay, well you can kind of.
All right, cool.
5, Wilson Contreras, I think, is the 5th most important on this top 5 list. Going into last year, I was a big Wilson guy. I had the same idea that he was going to be that good last year, and before he got hurt with his hamstring, he was on MVP tear. He was in the MVP conversation. He wasn't going to win MVP, but he was in that conversation. I think that the thing for Wilson is to stay healthy. He needs to grow with. There's a lot of new pitchers on this. He's
going to be learning a lot.
He's going to have to be, and this makes the argument for him at the 5 spot. He is the right-handed bat that is going to hit behind you're getting out of Rizzo and Bryant. They're going to be mashers. They're going to be in that lineup. They're probably going to hit 300, around 30 home runs, driving 100 apiece. Wilson Contreras, if he could be that guy who is that third, that third headed dragon,
lineup. Yeah, right,
and hit 30 home runs and drive in 100, which that was his goal going into the year. That lineup is transformed into something that is crazy at that point.
It gives me chills,
right.
Man. Your hitting lineup gives me chills.
Well,
I know we're doing, I got 5 on it right now, but I think about it and I get so excited for next week when baseball actually starts. All right, man, keep going. I'm sorry. I just get all excited.
No, it's fair.
And I want to say one thing. I am a Sox fan who got excited about a Cubs lineup. He can vouch for me. Not a Cubs hater.
No, absolutely not. And it's both ways because I've never hated the White Sox either.
No, absolutely.
4, my 4th most important, Kyle Hendricks. I think Kyle Hendricks needs to take that extra step, and he has in a lot of ways. He needs to become the ace of the squad as Lester gets older. Obviously, they've lost Jake Arrieta for the big games, and he was huge in the playoffs.
Yeah, he was great.
Hendricks needs to take that staff over and become what I think he could be.
Right.
I think, and that's going to come with staying healthy. Mm-hmm. Because last year he was having a good year. Kind of starts out slow every year. It seems like he doesn't get off to the start he should get off to. But I'm okay with that. I'm fine with him being a second half pitcher. Mm-hmm. But he needs to stay healthy, become the staff as Lester falls off. You don't know what you're getting out of Yu Darvish because. Well, we all think that Yu Darvish could be a great player. I do, and I think he's going to be a great pitcher. I think he's going to be great for the Cubs. He is coming off, a year ago with surgery, and his last year didn't leave a good taste in his mouth going into the postseason.
Right.
He had a great run with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
But if you look at that first half of the year with the Rangers, he didn't pitch very well, and that's kind of why they didn't get the most for him.
Right.
And that's why the Dodgers they got a huge haul because obviously it's Yu Darvish, and it's the trade deadline, and you always pay more. But yeah, that's my 4th most important. My 3rd, Kyle Schwarber.
Coming back, I think he's on the mind of every Chicago Cubs fan
and
what
he's
going to be. He's in tremendous shape if you've seen pictures of him.
He's lost a lot of weight. I think Kyle's put his best foot forward for this season.
Good.
He's been able to lose the weight, and he's been working crazily at his craft. Obviously, last year wasn't the year that he wanted.
Are you correct?
He's going to platoon out there. I think that he's going to end up not getting. They got to find a place for all these guys to play.
I know.
But I do think that come the playoffs, that left-handed bat, and if he's able to steal more bases than he used to, he's a great base runner, and he's already had 4 home runs this spring, and he had 3 steals in one game. It was early on in spring training, but I think that he is very important because he's a left-handed power bat, and other than Rizzo, they don't really have a huge left-handed power bat. But Happ, I think, is going to end up being more of your leadoff guy.
Right.
And it's not going to be a spot for him to really do a lot of damage. Kyle's going to hit in that 5th or 6th spot, and he's going to have to be the guy at the bottom of the order wrecking havoc because your Bryant and your Rizzo aren't going to chase pitches. They're going to get on base.
Contreras sitting no slouch.
Contreras, too, is going to work a count. And going through that part of the lineup, Kyle's going to be expected to drive in a lot of runs at that spot.
Right.
So going to my second one,
okay, and
it's a guy that isn't even on the team.
Okay.
He's not a Cub. I think Brad Hand is, and he's a reliever for the Padres. He's going to be a trade chip because San Diego's not going to make the playoffs.
So he's something that you're trying to look forward to.
My question is do the Cubs get in on that? Because if you look at the back end of their bullpen, there's a lot of question marks. Obviously, you don't know what you're going to get out of Justin Wilson. You know what you're going to get out of Carl Edwards because he's always two-faced. He's hot, he's cold. And I think that maybe Brad Hand could come in and kind of provide some stability. Also, if he doesn't come here, who does he get traded to? As you see in baseball, these huge major league teams, these bullpens, once it hits the playoffs, are even more huge than the hitting.
Right.
Having a shutdown guy to shorten the game to the 5th inning and to really get those starters out when they're getting that second and third appearance, I think it's huge for the Cubs to have a huge bullpen and a bullpen that could shut down at the end of the game. And if you look at the names of the guys that are in the pen right now, it's a lot of question marks. I like Edwards.
I like CJ.
I like Edwards. I like Justin Wilson. And this kind of transitions into my number one. I think the most important Cub for this year is Brandon Morrow. They signed him for a decent...
I love that, man. That's good. Yeah. Okay, cool.
They signed him to a huge deal. Not a huge deal. Really kind of player-friendly-ish. This is the deal that the Cubs signed really quick. Tyler Chatwood was obviously the first they kicked off. He's our 5th starter. But going into the offseason, addressing the bullpen was huge. And it was almost like they knew Wade Davis was going to leave because he got paid.
Yeah.
But I think it's huge that he needs to stay healthy because he hasn't stayed healthy in the past. Obviously, last year he did, and he had a great season, but he was the 8th inning guy.
Right.
So that's can he be the closer? If he fails, who's the closer? It's not Edwards because Edwards we've tried that before.
Right.
He's not that guy.
Think it lights a fire under him?
I think that in baseball, the way to get paid...
for good competition between him and Morrow?
I do. I hope that CJ gets the first crack at the games that Morrow can't go. But I think it'd be good for Morrow because closers are the ones that get paid out of the bullpen.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and this contract, while he got more than a lot of people thought he would, I think it was pretty fairly said team friendly.
Okay.
So going into this year, I think that's huge for those. So that's my I got 5 on it.
Okay. All right.
I know that we're gonna throw it over to your White Sox here.
All right, man. I got 5 on it. So this was really, really, really hard for me to pick because we have so many prospects that are up there. I know. No, I know. I absolutely know that. But I wanted to focus. I mean, at least on
the major league roster.
On the major league roster, where fans who are familiar with people that were up there. I mean, obviously, I'd love to pick your Nicky Delmonico for somebody that you would watch because he came up and made a huge impact last year. As you know, that dude was on fire. Mm-hmm. But this is you got 5 on it here. So Moncada, Yoan Moncada, he is my first. They moved him to the leadoff role for the White Sox this year, which is huge. That's a big task. And if you guys know, like in my opinion, for the White Sox, the last good leadoff hitter we had was Scott Podsednik. Mm-hmm. And I don't care what anybody says. He was the last good leadoff hitter that is a household
Which I'll touch
name.
on that too. Moncada, I think that the leadoff position has obviously changed in baseball. It's more on base percentage
exactly.
stuff. I think that this move, putting him in the leadoff, transitions the team into a new era. Because really, if you look at it, it's not speed guys who steal bases anymore. It's let's get these guys at the top of the lineup to try to get as most at bats as we can.
Well, fun fact about Moncada, over the last 2 years of being in the minors before he came on over to the majors, he stole 94 bases in 2 years in minor league.
Wow.
That's a lot.
See, I would have guessed a little less than that.
Yeah, so it's 90.
I know he can run. I know he's a very good athlete.
He's a good base runner.
Obviously playing second base.
Right. So Moncada, I actually read an awesome article today. I wish I can credit the article on where I read it because I cannot remember. But Moncada, they're saying that has the chance to be the first White Sox player ever to hit 30 home runs in a season and to steal 30 bases. This kid's got power. We know this kid has power.
Right.
It's all about him getting comfortable on the major league level. Because what he was doing in Double-A Birmingham and Triple-A Charlotte was, I mean, that's the stuff that superstars are, you talk about superstars and what they did down there, and he was doing that. So they're saying that I love that because they're saying that he had the potential to be a 30-30 guy, which has never been done in White Sox history. And the last Cub to do it, can you name him?
Oh,
I remembered it in my head for you. 30-30.
Not Alfonso Soriano because he came over that year.
He has done it.
But
not for Cubs.
with the Cubs.
Exactly.
Was that the question?
No. The last one for the Cubs to do it for you.
Oh man, Ernie Banks?
No, it was Sammy.
Oh, okay.
Before and he did it twice. He did it 95 and I want to say 98, really? 97, 90, before
he found the Cubs stat. I don't know.
Yeah, before his body changed.
Yeah,
but yes,
changed.
Yes. But he did
and
it
I'm
twice.
a big Sammy guy. As we'll learn on the pod, Sammy Sosa is the reason.
I thought you would love that stat, man.
No,
it was a great. I gotta find that article. I cannot remember where I found that article earlier, but it was really good.
Sammy Sosa.
The second person is the that I got on the you got 5 on it is Tim Anderson. So right behind Moncada, our 1-2 punch. These guys are badass fielders. Number one. Number two, Timmy's coming off a sophomore slump because when he came up, the kid was hitting the ball.
Right.
He was hitting the ball. He had a sophomore slump last year, but he raised it towards the end of the season. I think Timmy could be a 270, 280 hitter.
If he can field.
Right.
He's got to work on his fielding.
Yeah, he does. I mean, but he makes some spectacular plays.
That he does.
It's a hit or miss with him, man. He's going to get it or he ain't. So he's my second coming off a sophomore slump. I'm really thinking if you have him and Yohan Moncada as your number 1 and number 2, you're going to have some guys on base this year, which I'm very, very excited about. Going into your 3 and 4, which I'm assuming this year are probably going to be Abreu and Davidson.
Yeah.
And Avi.
You're going to need...
because you got your power right there.
You're going to need some...
So you're going to need some guys on
pop.
base. So as you're seeing, is the White Sox are finally not building towards 1 through 9 in the batting line order can hit home runs.
Right.
They're which is finally they're getting people that can get on base, so your home run hitters can produce RBIs.
Well, that's all baseball. I mean, around the league, you really look at it. A lot of teams per se, who are in the spot of I don't really need to win now because they're trading off the assets they have.
Right.
Your Cubs and Astros type deal.
Right.
They're stockpiling minor leagues like your White Sox are doing.
Right.
And they're bringing up guys who have a lot of pop, a lot of power, but a lot of discipline with that power. That's how the Cubs won the World Series in 2016. They were the most patient, and they hit a lot of home runs.
Right.
The long ball still is huge.
It's still
in
dominant,
baseball.
no doubt about it.
And if you look at the way the game is trending now, as home runs become more and more influential to the game,
which we talked about on podcast 1 with the ball,
right, is something that you need to stockpile your lineup throughout, not just your 3, 4, 5 hitters.
Exactly.
So I see that. And that's great for the White Sox.
Yeah, I think they're doing something special. So this next one I got on my you have 5 on it was I had a really hard choice here. I really wanted to pick Eloy Jimenez because he might be coming up this year. The way he's treating people down in
there's not much time
spring training.
Can keep him down there.
He's going to have to come up.
Isn't really learning too much from being down there.
I think he takes center field, honestly, when he gets up here because it's between Adam Engel and Ryan Cordell.
In a perfect world, you trade Avi and you put him in right.
Yeah.
Because
I like Engel, so yeah. But
he deserves to have right field. Though.
Right. My third pick is Lucas Giolito, which is going to be our second pitcher, I believe, in the lineup here.
Who's looking really good.
Yeah, Rick hasn't set the lineups yet. I mean, he's kind of given us a hint today, actually, on who the starting 5 is going to be, with of course, with Rodon being out with his injury. But this is the thing that I was kind of like talking to you about when the competition between your closers, between Morrow and Edwards. I feel there's going to be a competition here because I think Giolito, how he's shown what he had last year in his arsenal, he's shown in the spring training what he has. Rodon is going to be coming back from injury, and Rodon is going to want that ace position. This dude is the 3rd overall pick in the 2014 draft, Rodon, but Giolito has showed me more And even coming off Tommy John.
Right.
He has showed me more than Rodon has in his years with the White Sox.
I just wonder, like, as this whole plan forwards, the Cubs brought in John Lester, and that was the guy that was going to pitch your big games. With the White Sox, it's going to be totally different because they're going to have at least 5 guys to be in that rotation, and it's almost going to be like a competition to be the guy.
Well, we can always
we're going to talk about that with a different team later on in the pod, but competition to be – I'm sorry to cut you off, but competition to be the guy in this rotation with this young, I think is a lot better set than – obviously the Cubs have paid for a lot of their pitching. The White Sox are not going to have to do that.
Let's hope not.
Well – right. I think the White Sox in free agency will end up spending more money in the bullpen.
Yeah. And
maybe position players than the Cubs did. The Cubs kind of paid starting pitchers.
Right.
So the White Sox, really, when you look at it, you're going to have your Giolito. You're going to have your Ronaldo Lopez. You're going to have Dylan Cease. You're going to have Kopech. You're going to have 4 guys there who are going to be young, and they're going to be all competing to be the ace.
Right.
And competing for ace money at that point, too, because once they come up to the major leagues, the clock's on to when they get paid.
Well, and that's the thing about Giolito is, like, everybody, and this is just even going back 2 years, the 1-2 punch of Chris Sale and Jose Quintana was feared. I don't care if we sucked.
Right.
It was feared because no one can hit off these people.
Which I'm so happy he's in a Cub uniform.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man. I was telling Juice here. I had read an article. Again, I wish I could cite the website, but I can't. But it was
stat guy.
Yeah, I need a stat guy, but
article guy,
stat guy, whatever. But Jose Quintana was so grateful to stay here in Chicago, which I love that. I love that. But man, my third was Giolito. I think that he can prove to be the ace, and then if Dylan Cease and Michael Kopech want to come up and give a little bit of friendly competition, I'd love that too. But Rodon, I don't know yet. My fourth is Jose Abreu. Jose Abreu is going to be playing for a contract. But the reason I like to keep, and this I've touched on this in the first episode, you have to watch him. You know what Jose Abreu is going to give you. He's going to have a slow start, then he's going to come out in May and hit 380 with 7, 8, 9 home runs, and get his average back up there. He's going to consistently hit for you. Very slow starts with Jose Abreu. But now that he's getting later in his career, and all this youth is coming from where he's from,
right?
Again, I said it in the first podcast here, the Cuban connection. That's for real. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to take less money to stay here. I just want to keep an eye on him all year because I really want to see if his veteran presence shines through. And then my fifth pick here is Rodon. And the reason it's Rodon is because I do believe that Rodon has some fire. I believe he has some stuff. And if he wants, in this crowded pitching lineup that the Sox had for starters, and I'm not ruling out Carson Fulmer by any means necessary because I had a really hard time picking between Rodon and Fulmer for my 5 here. Because Fulmer, he finally had a good outing 2 days ago. But other than that, he is really looking like a reliever to me. Maybe at best case scenario a setup, man. I don't know if he's going to be able to be a starter. But when Rodon comes back from his injury, he did some throwing today, actually. When he comes back from his injury, I would really like to see what happens. Does he get handed the ace role if we go through 2 months of the season and Giolito's got a 2.30 ERA or something like that? Does he get handed the ace spot? And that's what I'm wondering. But like I said, for the White Sox, for your Cubs, I feel like it's an easier pick. You guys are established. You're a badass baseball team. You're winners. You know what's going on. We were where you were in 2013, 2014, 2015. That's where we're at right now. We're trying to figure out who we are, what we're going to be, and I feel that Rick Hahn has done nothing but the best for this franchise with all these acquisitions of prospects because a lot of them are turning out. The only thing that I do not like, and I feel like that someone is in Rick Hahn's ear about it, Kenny Williams, is bringing these guys up too early. I do think Moncada came up too early last year, but how he's hitting right now in spring training, the confidence that he seems to have behind him in his new role with Rick Renteria. And I do still believe, and people aren't going to like this, I still do believe that Rick Renteria is unfortunately it's going to happen to him with 2 Chicago teams.
Ah, man, I really hope not.
I hope
against it.
I hope against it too.
I felt, as a Cub fan, I think he's going into it, I felt so bad when it got to the end, and it was like, all right, all this talent's coming up. He had dealt with a lot of bad baseball and they just
finally got a good team.
But I mean, don't get me wrong, I was very pleased the fact that Joe Madden was my manager at the end of the day. But
we do have Jerry, and Jerry Reinsdorf is one loyal guy. And but that's
I think Rick's gonna get a shot.
That's mine, man. I really enjoyed yours. I really enjoyed that you actually threw somebody that wasn't a part of the team in there, like, you know, just to be on the lookout. I thought that was really cool. So I really enjoyed yours.
Yeah, no, we're gonna work. I got 5 on it as much as we can.
Oh no, because
we can do that with every team.
I thoroughly enjoyed that. That was fun.
We need a little play in.
Oh, I
we
know.
Need a little,
man.
Can you do it? I got 5 on me.
I don't want to.
All right.
Can I do the rap part where I swear? No.
Of course you can.
All right.